John, do you think that they will start more and more? Like I think about Oklahoma and bringing in Jim Nagy, for that job. Will this start to work more like an NFL general manager job and not just and maybe take some of the traditional recruiting roles away from on the field coaches?
I think it's TBD in some ways, and I mean that because, and I got into that in my story, recently. It's that we're seeing so many different approaches right now, and I think Jim Nagy at Oklahoma is a great example of it's a different operation. It's also, which I think is interesting. We've seen this at a couple places, not necessarily tied to the head coach, and I think that doesn't work out with Brett Venables. Venables can lose his job, and Jim could keep his. At other places, the GM is much more tied to the head coach, is even, in fact, maybe reporting directly to the head coach in a way that Jim is not at Oklahoma. I think how those different structures work could determine, like we said earlier, the copycat nature of it, which path people want to go down. We're seeing right now a variety of different things, whether it's a Jim Nagy approach. You've got guys who are much more recruiting focused. One of them I wrote about the other day, Vince Marrow, who was a top recruiter at Kentucky for more than a decade. He becomes Louisville's GM. That's more of this guy can recruit. He also can eval, but it's more based on that. Whereas Jim, more the eval side of things, personnel. Other guys are more kind of salary cap gurus. So it's kind of a pick your poison right now. And we'll see 3 to 5 years from now which one is the most successful. I think you talk to some of the college GMs like I have, and some of them are skeptical of the NFL impact. We've seen a lot of them hired in the last 12 months. And, I think there's some skepticism as to whether it's gotten as close to the NFL model as some of them think, and also just whether they're going to want to deal with all the unique aspects of college football that make it a good bit different still than what it's like at the NFL level.
So many of these